Magazine is a magazine that embraces and celebrates the entire homeschooling experience. Our magazine is different from all the rest because we provide beneficial information and assistance in homeschooling, business, wellness, mental health, resources, and life. We encourage you to pick up a copy of our magazine today on Amazon.com by simply searching the Homeschooling Interactive Magazine. The Homeschooling Interactive Magazine is all about impacting the world through home-based learning, helping to de-stress the homeschooling experience. Get your copy from Amazon today.
Wanted to reiterate, was there anything that you wanted to bring out that we didn't discuss? And I also wanted to know about your business and what it is that you do. So what are some last words that you have for the audience?
Okay. Well, I just want to let you all know that Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is a worldwide organization. We have chapters across the entire U.S. in the British Virgin Islands. We have them in Africa as well. And every single chapter, every single state, every single territory has been enacted to go out and fight this good fight to bring awareness of domestic violence abuse. If there are any organizations or chapters in your area, seek them out if they haven't sought you out for assistance or help. And then also make sure that if you are experiencing something like this and or know someone who's like this, be sure to get help. Use that crisis line number that I provided, depending on where you are and what state you're in while you're viewing this. And then also, just to let you guys know, my husband and I have a counseling agency, Gravity Counseling Group. If you should need services with COVID running rampant, teletherapy is available. There is just one click away. GravityCounselingGroup.com. There are licensed clinical counselors on staff who are ready to help and assist. If you do not have insurance, don't let that stop you because there are ways around that as well. If there are any questions, comments concerning desires, do not hesitate to get in contact with either Miss Vanessa or myself because we are truly here for you, the community.
We are, and that is so important. And I love that you all have a platform to just be able to help various communities as it relates to domestic violence. Your organization does so much more, and also your counseling services that you provide. And people don't always reach out, but I hope that they reach out, at least have the conversation. If you are a Zeta, just know that within your organization, you're doing really good work. I love it. I love what you're doing for the state of South Carolina and all of your other state directors as well. And I thank you much for that. Andrea said, bring all of this to Jamaica. Oh, Andrea, we would definitely come to Jamaica. I would definitely come
Jamaica
and provide some services
yes,
there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that is our goal, too, is to make sure that we do it worldwide.
We might have a chapter.
Yeah, that's something that we definitely try to do. So thank you, Melinda, once again, for just being so amazing, being an advocate, putting in the work, which is not easy. We need more women and men to come forward to just be able to support others and to be able to be a resource and to just pour into our community. If you know somebody that is struggling with domestic violence and is going through, make sure that you're gentle with them. Try to understand what they're going through, validate how they feel. Don't push them, encourage them. Empower them, pour into them, right? Pour into them, encourage them, but also give them resources. But the main thing that you could do for somebody that is going through domestic violence is say, how can I help you? What do you need from me? Those two powerful questions is really all you need, not the slick comments like, if I was you, I'll leave. Nobody want to hear that. This is straight to the point. We want you to be able to encourage people and help them when they're ready. And it doesn't matter how many times you have to ask that question. It is always, how can I help you? what do you need from me, so that we could be there and support them no matter where they are on this journey, and show love and kindness, because they haven't been shown the love and kindness that they deserve at times. So let's do this together. So for Hush No More, I am truly honored to be the executive director. Today is Millens Give. So if you go to our website, go to our Facebook page, you'll see millensgive.org/hush no more. We are raising money on this terrific Tuesday as part of our state fundraiser. So you still have time up until midnight tonight to donate to Hush No More. All the funding that we use goes directly to survivors and training. None of our staff takes $1. We give it all back to our community. So if you would like to donate through Millens Give or through Cash App, PayPal, we support all donating platforms. Okay. Hush No More Champions is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we are going to have Arthur Mitchell here. He's going to talk about disabilities are there, but they do not affect your ability, right? That's going to be on the 11th. On the 18th, we're going to talk about trauma and alcohol. I am sober for 2 years, so I am excited to have this conversation with Jesse of how trauma and alcohol is definitely related, and also other drugs. On the 25th, Dr. Liza Jones is going to be here, and she's going to talk about how you could join the fight to support individuals that are going through trauma, even when you're going through your own trauma, when you got your own junk going on. We just figured out that on the 7th of August, we are going to do a college forum, a back to school for college students to talk about sexual assault, domestic violence, teen dating violence, all of that on college campuses. So look out for the flyer for that. 16 October is our domestic violence walk. Please sign up. You could join us virtually anywhere around the world, or you could join us right here in Columbia, South Carolina. That is 16th of October. Let me get it right. The 16th of October, 2021 is our domestic violence walk. And you can always join us every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for art therapy. We're looking for more artists who cannot draw like we can't draw, just have a good time and do some things together and make each other smile and show some love and kindness. So there's always things going on at Hush No More. Our website is www.hushnomore.org. You can call us at 1-888-285-2161. Find us on social media. We are always here to support you any way that we can, So reach out to us. We're available. And Melinda, do you want to give your contact?
The world is hurting right now, and it's time to rise up. As we lift ourselves up in body, mind, and spirit, we can reach out to others and be a light in a sea of darkness. Welcome to the Movement for Global Health with your host, Dr. Mary Zenit.
We are here today with Alexi Bracy. Alexi is a dementia prevention coach. She is a healthy environment educator and a plant-based chef. And she has very important things to share with us today. She is now a high performance coach for excellent brain power, where you can maximize your longevity living independently. Alexi, welcome to our show today.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm just thrilled to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful. Please share a little bit of your story, how you got here.
Well, more than 20 years ago, I got that inevitable call that everybody dreads. You have cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember distinctly the pathologist calling me and telling me that. And I just quietly said, thank you. And I hung up the phone. I knew in my heart of hearts then I was going to beat it. I had no idea how, but I knew I was going to. So now, like more than 20 years ago, the availability of the internet is not what it is today. So I spent months at bookstores and at libraries researching. And what I learned changed the direction of my life. Because when you align the physical, mental, and emotional symmetry of your body, you can achieve anything you want. And so, without any medical intervention, drugs, or surgery, I was cancer free a year later by just changing a few lifestyle habits that involve the physical, mental, and emotional. And it just changed the direction of my life. I was a traditional chef at the time. So then I became a raw food chef. I'm now a plant-based chef, and then just learned all the different contributing factors that impact people's health, whether it's cancer, whether it's heart disease, whether it's diabetes. It's all these different lifestyle factors because they're all inflammations in the body. So we have to address what the inflammatory markers are. So I spent the last 20 and some odd years learning all I could about health and healing from a natural perspective. I've helped hundreds. I've had webinars and private clients and taught at health food stores and wellness centers. And then because I was approaching my wisdom years, and it seems that dementia seems to be in the news lately, I was freelancing at a nursing home. It was lunchtime. In the one dining room, you could hear the residents all animated having a lively conversation. And just a short walk down the hallway was another dining room where I was stationed, about 24 women seated at tables of four. And I didn't understand what we were doing. We had to take two plates and put the lunch entree choices on these two plates. Like I didn't know what we were doing. And it was because some of these women couldn't read a menu. They had to visually see what were the choices. Some we had to cut up the food, some we had to feed. There was no eye contact, no social interaction. It was as quiet as a library. And then I saw a couple of women in their 50s, and it broke my heart. All victims of dementia. I thought the world has to know it doesn't have to be this way. In their 50s. And so fast track, that's what my focus is now, because dementia is totally preventable and stoppable. You know, you can thrive well into the wisdom years and beyond, just like the blue zones do, with a sound body and an excellent mind.
Tell us for a second, for our listeners, what a blue zone is.
The blue zones are 5 communities on the planet that boast the healthiest, longest living, well into their 90s and hundreds, like I said, with a sound mind and healthy body. They are in Costa Rica, Nicoya, Sardinia, Greece, Linda Loma, Japan. And it's totally achievable.
And what you're saying is it's totally achievable for all of us.
It is, exactly. You know, they're not doing anything monumentally different than what we do in North America. And like one of the communities is in Linda Loma. They're totally as modernized as you could possibly be. You know, they're not in sort of the more quiet, remote areas of the world, but they're doing something right because they're living longer and healthier.
Wow. Wow. Well, and this is a story that has to be shared far and wide. People need to hear this and take it to heart and believe it. It's, you know, we hear the rates of dementia. I mean, they're going through the roof. It's really scary.
Exactly.
It's scary.
You know, dementia is now the leading cause of death in Australia, surpassing cancer and heart disease.
Wow.
And Canada and the United States are the 2 leading countries in this worldwide epidemic.
Worldwide, exactly. Well, let's dive into this. I've heard you say how important meaning and purpose are. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, meaning and purpose are the drivers that keep you going, that keep you excited. Like when you get up in the morning, what are you excited about? Whose life are you going to impact? Whose life are you going to put a smile on? What are you going to teach? What are you going to learn? What gifts do you have that you can give out? And what gifts do others have that you can receive? Because it works both ways. we all have gifts in various capacities. It could be the best garden, the best ballroom dancer, an author,
Mhm.
winning the Boston Marathon in your age category,
Right.
starting a community, helping seniors, helping aged dogs. But, something that gives you meaning and purpose, that fills your heart with gratitude, puts a smile on your face, puts a
Mhm.
smile on somebody else's face.
Mhm. And I've heard this, and being in healthcare, I know from my own experience is, you know what, when you're serving others, you step outside yourself, all of a sudden you have all the cares in the world, but they don't mean anything because you put it aside and you are dedicated to that person and embracing them, empowering them, and lifting them up in whatever way, whatever way. And like you say, each of us has our own gifts. Each of us makes a difference, can make a difference. But we've got to have that mindset. We've got to have that mindset. And Alexi, I see so many people, and that they retire and they go home and they're sitting in front of the TV.
I know. It breaks my heart. Totally breaks my heart.
Yeah, it does. It does. And they're taking all this in, whatever this is, but they're not in touch with themselves and they're not able to give. I mean, this is a paradigm that needs to shift. And hopefully, with people like yourself, it is starting to shift. It is shifting. Is that each of us has so much to offer. It's like a mind, body, spirit. And a person might say, well, gee, I'm in assisted living. I can barely put one foot in front of the other. But guess what? You have a lot to offer. You're a person, you have a heart, you have a mind. That's what you're working on. And you can make a difference in somebody's life. You know, maybe it's helping them get out of their room, helping bring them something. There's just so many, it's unlimited. The capacity that we have as people to reach out to others. Lexi, and I don't know, but I think a big part, you see the statistics, the Alzheimer's, the depression. Okay, the rates of mental health conditions are just off the scale. And it's way beyond, a chemical imbalance, is that we are disconnected from ourselves as people. And that's why I think your message is so, so significant. There's, like you say, meaning and purpose. To you, it's nobody's giving you a grade on this. You're not being, it's not a test, but who are you as a person?
That's right. And just like everyday life, we can do, like you said, small things. Like, for example, holding the door open for somebody when you're going, you know, lifting the windshield wiper up when there's going to be an ice storm, taking a senior's garbage bin back to her backyard. Just, all sorts of little things we can do just to lighten somebody's day, lightens your day. It doesn't have to be anything, monumental, because everybody can do something.
Something. And that we put value on those little things that, I think we have this whatever, however long it's been, is, the goals have been, lots of money and fame and all these nebulous. It's like, wait a minute, let's break it down to our lives. I'm not at all criticizing abundance. I mean, I wish each of us has abundance in our lives, but part of abundance is not only monetary, the real abundance is in the heart.
That's right.
And that you're living fully. And as you say, making a difference. Yeah, it's so significant.
Yeah. Dr. Sean Akers, a psychologist, did a study, and he found that people think that if they're successful, they're going to be happy. It's the other way around. You're happy first, then you are successful. Um, and so, what random acts of happiness can you share and give to others? Like, for example, I approach strangers at the dog park, at the grocery store, at the ATM machine, and I say, can I put a chuckle in your heart? And by that I mean, can I share a joke? Why a
Mhm.
joke? Behind every face, there is a story. Maybe you lost a loved one. Maybe somebody was diagnosed with cancer. Maybe you have to move. And so for 2 minutes, they laugh out loud. It feeds my soul. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. It raises the feel good endorphins in your brain that feeds brain health and longevity. And another thing everybody can do every day is laugh, because laughter has been shown to increase longevity. Children laugh 600 to 800 times a day. We laugh maybe 60.
Maybe,
Maybe. That's right. That's right.
maybe. Wow, that is significant. So laughter.
Just a really easy thing. Everybody can do that. You can even watch the funny old movies like the Three Stooges or whatever from way back, just to put that little chuckle in your heart.
Exactly. So that gets into one of my next questions is, so what are some exercises that you recommend?
Well, definitely daily, everybody should do physical, mental, and emotional exercises. By physical, I mean, some kind of weight training, weight bearing, walking. Mental, something to stimulate your mind, whether it's quizzes, reading a book, learning a new language, gardening,
Mhm.
something mentally stimulating. And social, we're meant to be social beings. Reach out to people, you know, go out for coffee. I mean, the last 2 years have been very challenging. Thank goodness for Zoom, but people want that physical touch, that hug. Have a dinner club, start a book club, just to connect with people and connect with people that are maybe that live by themselves. And just call them up and say, hi, how you doing? Is there anything I can help you with? Because people don't really reach out on their own. They sort of suffer in silence. So just to brighten somebody's day, how you doing? Haven't heard from you in a while.
Those are such important suggestions. And we need to pick up the mantle on this after COVID, because we had this complete shutdown, complete. And you saw and read about the impact of the isolation.
Absolutely. I know it's absolutely horrific because we're not meant to be solo beings.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and then give us some clues. You had talked about meditation, which is really important, but give us some other ideas of how people can relax besides meditation.
There is a word coined by Dr. Wallace Nichols, a marine biologist, called blue mind. He says anytime you are in, on, or near water, you achieve a semi-meditative state. So why do people flock to their cottages in the summertime? Why do they go to the islands in the wintertime? It's water. Powerboarding, sailing, canoeing, skiing, snorkeling, scuba diving, skiing in the wintertime. And if you think of it, we spend the first 9 months in water.
Yes.
And water births are becoming more popular. So Dr. Nichols took a group of retired Marine veterans down to the Caribbean to repopulate the coral. They were all suffering from PTSD. They all recovered. It's that connection to water. And everybody can do it at home by having a bath.
Right.
And I stress that baths are not exclusive to women only. Anybody can have a bath. If you're driving in the country and you see a waterfall or stream, just stop and enjoy. They're saying how beneficial it is to walk in the sand near water. Everybody can do something related to water. your screenshot can be raindrops splashing against a window, or snow or whatever. So water is so easy. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort, because some people have a hard time meditating, but it's so calming. It just is so calming.
Wow, those are some great ideas. And again, it doesn't matter what climate you're in.
That's right. That's right.
Doesn't matter. And but there's something deeply energetic about that water.
Very healing for sure.
Very, very healing. And you've also said that happiness supports your brain. Can you share more about that?
There's a really great site called Positive Prime, where they have a series of categories, and it's like vision board on steroids, and they're all meant to increase your happiness level. And the happiness, it has been shown scientifically that watching even 3 minutes on one of these videos on this site increases your brain health by 31%. That lasts 6 to 8 hours every day. Plus, it improves other brain functions. So 3 minutes of happiness in the morning. It could be anything. And then they have all these beautiful views scattered with positive affirmations. And you can't help but start your day on a better note. So I have a free 10-day trial. So I'll provide the link for your listeners. I urge you to try it out. You really
Yes,
will.
give us the website again. I want to post it.
Yes, I will provide it. It's Positive Prime, but it's got a number after it. But I will send you the link for it.
Please
it's
do.
absolutely
Please
good.
do. Yeah, yeah. That sounds wonderful. So is this something you can start out with in the morning?
Absolutely. I do it in the morning. And sometimes if I've had a stressful day, I'll do it just before I go to bed at night. Because some of the categories, it depends on the music. Some is like super uplifting and some is more calming. It just depends on what you want.
Wow. Wow. So this is what, you really delved into this, Alexi, and you've got such wonderful resources for people that can greatly enhance the quality of their lives.
Just think on the positive side, spread happiness, spread gratitude. Those are my drivers. They really are my drivers. How can I make your day a little bit better? Like, for example, I've got 2 dogs, and the people are petting the dogs on the street and going, "Oh, your dogs are lovely." And I'll go, "It runs in the family." It makes them laugh, or I'll say, "Oh," or they're petting the dogs, and I go, "If I get on all fours, will you pet me too?" Same thing. It makes them laugh.
Exactly. And where we don't take ourselves too seriously, and it lightens the mood and it breaks down these defenses. And that's so important. So important. And
Yeah.
you can laugh and relate.
That's right. So, having said that, I like to put a chuckle into people's hearts. May I put one in your heart right now?
Well, yes, you may.
Okay, so a lady takes her 4-year-old daughter to deliver meals to seniors who are shut-ins. And this little girl is totally fascinated by all the equipment the seniors have, the wheelchairs, the walkers, the canes. And one day she notices a set of dentures sitting in a glass of water. And she's just mesmerized by it. She keeps on staring at it and staring at it. And finally she says to her mother, "The tooth fairy's never going to believe this one."
Oh, thank you. All this, it makes such a difference, Alexi. You're doing amazing work. Amazing.
Thank you.
And how can our listeners reach out to you and learn more about what you're doing?
Okay, I do have a free quiz that you can take to see what your risk factors are.
Mhm.
And it's https www whatever wholehealthacademy.ca/free sessions. And I'll provide you the link for it.
Yeah, just provide all this in the
Yeah.
link, and I want to post it. I definitely want to post this.
And and I offer complimentary session. Reach out to me, and no strings attached. I'll just say, well, maybe best way for you would be to be XYZ or ABC, and then you can decide what you want to do.
Mhm, 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 mhm. And you offer options for people, different
Absolutely.
choices,
Always
things
options.
that make sense for the individual.
That's right.
So I think that's because I've read some of what you do, and I think that's so significant. It's not a one size fits all.
No, exactly. Exactly.
So if you would share the links, and when we post our broadcast, we'll definitely have the links there and encourage people to check them out and reach out to Alexi. And if you have a parent, um, a family member that you're concerned, they're in their 60s, 70s, maybe 80s, but they're in a rut, this is a great day to look at these resources and invite them and maybe do it with them. Is that what I'm hearing from you is dementia does not have to exist.
Very true. It doesn't.
And this is a powerful, profound statement because it is everywhere. Like you said, look at the rates that you were talking about.
Hmm.
So, all right. Well, this has been delightful. Alexi, any closing words for our listeners?
Because I like to put a chuckle in people's hearts, I'll just leave you with a one-liner for people that can't remember jokes. Two M&Ms are having a discussion, and we're very excited because when they grow up, they're going to be Smarties.
All right, Alexi, Gracie, thank you again. This has been absolutely delightful. And I know it's already brought value to our listeners and will bring value to the people that we introduce to your resources.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be able to share.
Oh, it's delightful. All right, thank you so much.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl Joy from Be the Difference Clothing. I am here today because I have another unboxing that I want to do with you guys. This is a pair of sneakers that I purchased from Fleet Feet. Fleet Feet, I really like them. I like the service that they provide. They're local. They're right in Hoboken, New Jersey. That's the location I went to. But they're always kind to me. And I had to get these especially shipped because they didn't have my color or size. So if you are in the need of sneakers, then you could definitely go to Fleet Feet, and they don't have your color or size. You can you can get it ordered, and then also they do have a really nice return policy, and I'll go over that in a few minutes. But again, we have our handy dandy opening tool. I have to remember to keep it away from me. We apply a little pressure. Let's get this opened. Ooh. I think I can open it from here. So I'm going to put my utilities away. Oh, I think I got a paper cut. Look at that, guys. Packed so nicely. Oh, I always do that. I got the Mizunos, and they have something underneath the box. Mizuno. I had to start. Okay, little quick short story. So I started running not too long ago. And I can't remember how many years ago. That's why I say not too long ago. And the running group that I started with, I would notice that my feet would be hurting. And I already knew that I had fallen arches. So with fallen arches, your foot is like, bam, your arch is like, bam, hitting the ground. So I said, I need to go get fitted for a sneaker. I think either somebody told me there was a store like that. And that's how I ended up, with Fleet Feet. Because they actually fit you with the proper sneaker. And I needed something between the gym, because I love going to the gym. And I also needed something between me running. And when I first got there, I ended up getting a few different sneakers. But when I stepped into some Mizuno, these Mizunos felt like heaven. It felt like heaven to me. So I went ahead and I've been a Mizuno fan since. I got a classic black. This is the Wave Inspire 18. Take a look at that, guys. They had to mail these to me because they didn't have the black. And look at the bottom of the sneaker. Look at all of that grip. I had been wearing the 16s for so long that the soles are worn out. So just in case you guys don't know, if you are into the running situation, when you look at the bottom of your sneaker, if the soles are completely gone here, meaning like this grip right here, you see how it's nice and thick? If there's no thickness and it's just flat to the floor, then good well, you need to replace your sneakers. Those are the people who are in that running game, right? And when you see this right here and this is where I get my arch control, y'all. I get my arch control from here. It lifts me up like I'm in heaven. And it gives my arch that support that it needs since there's nothing there. So this is the black one. And I've been a diehard Mizuno fan ever since. And this is the other side. Look at that. Brand new out the box. And then look at the bottom again. You see how the bottom has, look at that. You see how far away from the ground I am? Do you see how far away from the ground I am? So when I go to the gym or run, I won't feel like my feet or my ankles or anything is hitting the ground. Solid impact. And guys, listen, you need to take care of your feet no matter what. Don't go running around here in shoes or sneakers, especially sneakers. Don't go running around here in sneakers that are uncomfortable and that are not good for your feet, because it kind of messes up your lower back and your spine and all that other stuff. So when your feet are in line, your whole body is in line, okay? So think about that. Let's see, what other features do we have here? Ooh, they have care instructions. Oh, another cool thing about Fleet Feet. If you look back, I have a video. I'm gonna attach it here. I have a video of when they did a full foot scan, so they could check the levels and stuff. It was pretty cool when we went shopping for sneakers. So here's the care instructions. They have it in a couple different languages, and I think that is so dope. Mizuno.com, or you can go to your local feet and sneaker specialist to get a pair of sneakers that will fit properly for you. I'm so grateful and thankful that they absolutely did fit me with something that was amazing. And they take their time too, guys. They absolutely took their time to make sure that I got the right fit. So time was not an issue with them. So I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm thankful that they sent this to me. I'm thankful that I was able to do this little review for you guys. Hopefully, you have been inspired and maybe you learned something new. If you haven't already done so, please like, subscribe, and share the content on this channel. You'll definitely get a little variety of everything. And if you like the t-shirt that I wear, then go ahead and shop BeTheDifferenceLLC.com. Guys, I really don't have anything more to say, but definitely make sure your feet are happy because the rest of your body will be more aligned when you do so. It's your girl, Joy, from Be the Difference Clothing, signing out for another video. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one. And don't forget, you are beautiful and amazing. Shop BeTheDifferenceLLC.com. See you soon.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. This is Shayna Asby. I am Shayna Asby, the family life coach, coming to you today with the Mother's Place. Yes, I know it's been a while, but guess what? I'm back. Yes, I just want to say thank you to everyone who was praying for me, everyone who kept me in their prayers. Yes, it was a hard time. I lost my second little brother, second car crash. This was like a generational curse. I'm not even going to get into that right now. I'm going to wait to the next podcast or another time to talk to you about that because it's definitely something that I want to share. So I just want to say thank you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us today. Even if you're catching this on a replay, make sure you catch it. I just want to say thank you again. This is Shayna Asby with the Mother's Place. We have a special guest today. We have Miss Fuchina Kirkendall with Chronicles of a Favorite Woman. She's going to be our guest today. Today is going to be education and conversation. That's right, education and conversation. I'm going to bring her in, let her introduce herself, and we're going to get it kicked off with today. Our title of our show is It's Not My Fault, but It's My Responsibility. It's not my fault, but it's my responsibility. So now I am introducing or allowing her to introduce herself, Miss Fuchina Kirkendall. Hey, Miss Kirkendall.
Hello. How are you all? I love that. What did you say earlier? You said it was conversation and education and conversation.
Yes.
I love that. And thank you for, I'm happy to see that you're back and you're kicking like a chicken over there. I'm loving it. My name is Fuchina Kirkendall, and I am the CEO and founder of Chronicles of a Favorite Woman. It is a blessing. It is truly a blessing to be here. When I think of the goodness of Jesus and all he has done for me, my soul cries out, hallelujah. Thank God for saving me. I thank you for tuning in to to this episode of Shayna. I thank you for bringing me here. As I mentioned, I'm the founder and CEO of Chronicles of a Favorite Woman. I also have a podcast that comes on every Sunday evening at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On that show, we talk about life and we talk about real life scenarios with real life people, real life topic. We keep it real. We keep it real because the truth of the matter is people are going through things, and it's so ironic that I'm here today so we could share, because I'm looking forward to having Shayna, my sister, so we could chop it up, so we could just educate and conversate. So we're going to leave it open for you all as well. So we want y'all to hop in. feeling, your questions, concerns, whatever the case may be. We're going to keep it live, we're going to keep it real, and we're going to keep it respectful.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So today our topic is it's not my fault, but it's my responsibility. As you know, we are in this age, it's 2022. The world has changed. Things have shifted. So those things that used to be abnormal are becoming somewhat normal, and those
Yes,
things that are normal are becoming somewhat abnormal. So it seems like things have flipped. But a lot of those things that we called value or we valued of information, of things that we were doing, we have to hold on to if we want to change, people's thinking to the right set of thinking. And there is a right and a wrong way. People think, it's like, oh no, this is a new norm and things have changed and everything upscales. I understand that everything upscales and everything moves into a different time, a different generation, but we still have to remember that morals, ethics, and values, we have to keep some of
yes,
those doors open so we can keep the connection alive between man and women, us and ourselves dealing with self care, us and our relationships with our children, and us and our purpose within this universe. So,
exactly.
ethics, morals, and values is my biggest, like, it's me. That's who I am. That's what I
Right.
teach, ethics, morals, and values. Because I don't train up my child just for my house, but
Mm-hmm.
it's how he's going to be connected to the world. I didn't train him just for my house.
Exactly.
Because if I
Exactly.
think like that, then he's only going to be able to connect to who I am within my circumference. But if
Right.
I think that I have to train him up, not just for my house, but for how he's going to connect to the world, then it's going to give me a broader perspective. And I'm going to have to get him conditioned or.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you feel about that? A lot of us, when we say we're the village, but we get into our houses, we close our doors, and we lock the world out as if it don't exist. We train our children, we teach them, but we're not really teaching them how to connect for the rest of the world, but just our houses. How do you feel about that topic?
Well, you said quite a bit, quite a few things, and one of the things that came to my mind is moral and ethics. Let me start with that first. I grew up old school. I grew up with my grandparents, so I have an old soul, as what they would call old soul. And there are certain things that we just don't do. Respecting me is not an option. It's just not an option. And we're not going to go back and forth. Now, I believe in having communication because you do need to listen to your children. You do need to communicate with your children. But please be mindful, I am the parent, okay? Just remember that, And the truth of the matter is, we talk about these new norms. And yes, there are some things that are changing. We can't stay stuck in our old ways, but there are foundational values that you have because in the end, 2 + 2 still equals 4, whether you could add it up with your hands or you could do it on a calculator. It's still the same. There's a foundation that we have to remain, and we have to stay consistent with the foundation because yes, it does take a village to raise a child. And I do agree with you. It has changed. We are shutting our doors because we don't want to get involved because everything has changed. Now, when I grew up, if I got in trouble at school, I got in trouble at school. I got in trouble on the way back home, and then I got home. And I just all told you because they already knew about it before I even got home. So when I do it now, you have some. I'm going to stick directly. I'm gonna hurt some feelings. Deal with our parents who send these children to school like it's a daycare, and then don't get involved. And then when your child get in trouble, you want to first be in denial that your child ain't like that, and then you want to blame the teacher. No, we got to get out of that. Because one thing we have to do, this is where the village starts, okay? First, it starts with your church, with your pastor. Then it starts, it starts at home. Then it starts with your pastor and your church. Then it deals with your school. After you deal with your school, you can't shuffle your child off, saying that, they good or they gone for 8 hours or whatever. And then, no, it doesn't work like that. You need to get involved. You need to know who your teachers are, what they teach, how they teach, whatever the case may be. Introduce yourself and let them know I'm going to be one of them parents because that's how I am. all the parents and administrators knows Pachina Kirkendall, because I need to know what's going on with my child. And if something's going on, what is the method of communication we listen to what I said, we are going to establish so we can make sure, because I tell them, I know you have at least 20 something kids in here. I got it. I just want to do my part and make sure mine is doing right, because listen, God gave me him and I'm responsible for him, and I'm gonna make sure him is okay. So we have to have this communication. So if you don't like me bugging you, that's just too bad, because as long as he's a kid, a student in there, I'm gonna be all up in the business. So what I've learned is, parents, teachers love when we get involved. They just want to know that you care, because the truth of the matter is, it's not all on them. So going back to it's my fault, it's not my fault, but it's my responsibility. No, it's not my fault that maybe I wasn't raised like that, but it is my responsibility. Now that I know better, I will do better, because we're gonna break this generational curse that this enemy is trying to put on us. So when you know better, you knew you raised up like that. Now you need to change that, because look how we turned out, and we weren't perfect. So now we got to change some stuff, because whether we like it or not, technology, everything is changing. It's more advanced, and we got to jump. We got to be in that trenches. We got to dig our heels in here and say, listen, this is what we need to do collectively. Let's come together. I don't mind throwing a meeting. Let's listen. I need to meet. I'm available at this and this and this time. We can do it on Zoom. I'm good, because I don't have to see, as long as I can see you on Zoom, as long as we're having a conversation. Because the one thing my children know is this: because I stay in communication with them, there's nothing you could come to me and tell me, oh, this and this happened, because I already know before I get here. So my question to my son is, hey, how was your day at school? It was good. Everything went all right. Well, or no, it didn't. I said, really? Because I got a phone call today, or I got an email. You want to tell me about that? Letting them know, because these kids will manipulate. Okay, they natural manipulators now. They will manipulate. If they know that there's no communication between us and the teachers, they can wreak havoc. And the next thing you know, your child's up front being expelled, and now you wondering what in the world happened. It could have been avoided. That's all I got to say on that.
Yes,
Too much.
yeah, that I love that. I love that. I love that. I do. So communication is definitely a big partner in being a parent. It's definitely a big
Mhm.
piece. It's definitely very important. I am very communicative with my son. We have great open dialogue. And the reason
Yeah.
why that I opened that up is because I really didn't have it as a child with my parent.
Mhm.
Again, we come from the parents who said, kids are to be seen and not heard.
Right.
So we could not be in those conversations. And
Mhm.
again, they may not have known how to educate us on certain things. But now
Right.
that we know that that should have shifted into something different,
Mhm. Mhm.
communication is definitely an important factor right now. We also, like you said it before, we need to keep that communication open up with those teachers, and we have to know our children. You stated
Right.
that, you know, us going to school or going to these schools and acting as if we don't know our children, or saying, "Oh no, not my child" to the teacher. That's really damaging our children as opposed to
Right.
making them better. And that's one
Right.
thing that I definitely found out with myself. I made sure that I went to the school, and anytime that I went to the school about an issue or a concern, I knew my child.
Right.
One teacher, I had an issue. So my stories are a little bit different. Of course, I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, and I noticed that every time you go into a different environment, the school systems are different. So a lot of the lower class schools within, lower income neighborhoods in Detroit, different places, the education is it's always a fight. And
Right.
in a lot of those environments, they don't even want the parents to get involved. They act as if they do want the parents to get involved, but the principals, they have this bully mentality over the teachers where they don't want any issues and they want to keep control. So it's a problem when it comes to parents being involved. So I've been in those environments. Um, I've been in so many different ones, and I've been in ones to where they were all hands on, and they were like today. My son is in high school. my son is in the 11th grade. His middle school teacher, I ran into him on the streets one day and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "Hey, how are you?" And he said, "How's Marcus?" And I was like, "He is great." He
Mm-hmm.
knows exactly who my son is. He paid attention. So I've ran into schools that way. So it's
Right.
definitely important that we open up communication, not just for our children, but keep the communication open with our children in school. I had one
Right.
issue to where a teacher was tipping over his desk. So her method of teaching is if she feels like the children are unorganized or she does not want to teach, what she would do is come in a classroom, embarrass them in front of the class, tip over their desk, and their things will fall all over the floor.
Mm.
This was definitely an unethical practice of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So when my
Mm-hmm.
son came to me with this issue with the school or this particular teacher, I was very upset because then she took it upon
And
herself to
rightfully so. Mm-hmm.
yes, 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 yes. And and it's so funny because that wasn't my first conversation with this teacher. I had another conversation previous before, and she would say, she said to me, Marcus is he's unorganized. Guess what? Yes, he is. I can honestly say at that time he was a little bit unorganized. But even in his unorganization, and I fessed up to that, getting him to be organized is not embarrassing him in front of the classroom. It's actually breaking down his self confidence and his self esteem. And she actually made an impact, a negative impact on my son to where he
Mm-hmm.
had became dishonest or not as
Mm-hmm.
confident within himself.
Mm-hmm.
He would talk to people, he would shake their hands and not look at them in their eyes, and this is what I taught him.
Mm-hmm.
It did a lot of damage to him. And so with that, yes, I do tell parents you have to get involved because we don't know what's going on in these schools as we're not there. We don't know what's going on in these institutions when we turn our backs, and we definitely have to be a part of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And admit to what's right and admit to what's wrong, but challenge and don't just go along and just take the teacher's side and don't just go along and just take the student's side. Actually
Exactly.
listen.
Exactly. Exactly. And you said some very key points, and communication with our children is very important. I had to learn that the hard way because I grew up with children of seen and not heard. I did grow up with that. And I noticed I did that more with my older son because the oldest child is always the experiment child.
Right.
The oldest sibling, and found out quite a few things as a result of it because he didn't feel like he can come to me, and I created that environment for him. And so when I got my youngest son 17 years after the fact,